The first time I ever used a DJI gimbal was about 3 months ago, and ever since then I've been slowly selling off my other gimbals because after only using it for about 30 minutes I knew I wanted to get one. And then about a month ago the RS4 Mini came out and I was immediately sold on it. And in this video I'm going to demonstrate why. I want to tackle the important bits first, and that is how smooth is it? Because all the other stuff that I'm going to talk about, the auto tracking, the Teflon coatings, the auto locking features really don't matter if the gimbal isn't ultimately smooth. I did a quick side-by-side comparison with my much bigger, much heavier, and twice as expensive Feiyutech Scorp Pro, and I found that this RS4 Mini gimbal was as smooth when I was walking, and when I pushed both gimbals to the limit by running, I found the RS4 Mini to be even smoother. I'm using my FX30 with one of my heaviest lenses, a Viltrox 27mm f1.2. Altogether, this setup is just under 3 pounds. With the RS4 Mini, the payload is rated at 2 kilos or 4.4 pounds. Yes, this little gimbal weighs under 2 pounds and can hold a 4.4 pound camera setup. What's even more impressive is with the RS4 Mini, you can use a setup as light as your phone, which you simply can't do with other gimbals. You used to have to buy 2 gimbals, one for your phone and one for your camera setup. Now you don't have to. So we've established that this gimbal is smooth, and that should come as no surprise because DJI has had several generations of their algorithms throughout various gimbals, and really even when it comes to features, they're on several generations of features on this new gimbal. For example, one of the things I've never had on a gimbal is auto locks. This RS4 Mini has DJI's 2nd gen axis locks. Check out how easy this is. The gimbal is off. All of the axes are locked. You turn it on and all of them are now unlocked and you are ready to go. This little thing that saves you time after each shot is really nice to have. It simplifies things, it gets out of the way so you can focus on the important thing, and that is shooting your subject. It makes the gimbal less of a distraction. It's one of those features that you'll experience once and never want to go back to doing it the old-fashioned way. Even down to the details, the arms of this gimbal have Teflon interlayers, which was previously only on their flagship models. The goal of the Teflon is to reduce friction when balancing. There is a tiny micro adjustment knob here as well, which again makes balancing with this gimbal just a little bit easier. Balancing takes all of 2 minutes if you know what you are doing. Now let's say you want to shoot smooth vertical video. This has been the bane of every gimbal's existence since the invention of TikTok. And some gimbals don't even give you the option to shoot vertically, and others, even worse perhaps, you have to take apart half of the gimbal to get your camera set up vertical, and then you have to take it apart again to get back to horizontal. It's not fun and it takes up so much time, and that's why a lot of people just don't use gimbals. With the RS4 Mini, check it out. You rotate this knob, unlock it, and put the camera and plate back on and tighten it back up. And you are now in vertical mode. Simple, quick, easy, painless. At this point, you do have to rebalance the gimbal again, but with the Teflon interlayered arms, it's quick work. And the vertical video looks smooth as butter with this new gimbal. Last up is the highlight feature of this gimbal, and I wanted to save it for last because I want to spend some time with it. This has RS intelligent tracking and composition. And the composition part is what is so important. That's really what's been missing from the wide variety of other gimbals that have tracking incorporated. What you are seeing now is the RS tracking in action. It uses hand gestures to start and stop the tracking. So if I wanted to stop it, I can put a hand up and now it no longer tracks me. If I want to make it start again, put my hand up again, light turns green, and now I can move all around. Anywhere I go, it will keep tracking me, and it will keep me in the same frame with the same composition. For example, if I don't have a cameraman behind me right now, it looks like I do, but it's not. It's just the gimbal working. Right now, I'm cut off a little bit. What I can do is I can move down, I can move up, I can stop it, then I can move down, start it again, and now I'm better in frame, or I have some headroom. So you can kind of recompose your shot even without going and messing with the app or whipping out your phone or going back, running back to the camera, having someone else stand in. You could do all of this by yourself, and you could see yourself on the side screen as it's flipped out. That's what makes this system so useful and so refined. All of this is thanks to this little module. It attaches to the gimbal with a magnet and some latches, meaning that it won't fall off and you won't pull it off by accident. It has a ring light around that glows red or green to indicate if it is tracking, and the integration really is seamless. You don't need an app or
to set up anything, it works just out of the box.
The problem is things were never this refined from the beginning. In the beginning, you had a gimbal that you had to maneuver with a joystick as you held it, and you rotated it, and you maintained your composition as you walked around obstacles, whatever it was. Then we got tracking, but we never got the composition down. So we had out of whack compositions. And now finally, DJI has refined this gimbal to the point where you have the tracking, you have the composition, and you can realistically pass this off to anyone, your wife, your child, and they don't have to move any joysticks. They don't have to track you because the gimbal does all the work. All they have to do is hold the gimbal. And if you don't have someone to hold the gimbal, well, you can put it up on a tripod and you can record yourself all day and all night, and it will keep up with you. And in fact, it will keep up with you at a great distance. I'm gonna go back here and see just how far I can get away with it. Move around, I can talk back here, and it's like, it just makes things easy if you're a solo creator, really.
What DJI is doing is packing this thing with all of the best features of their flagship models and then some. And just as it excels at big things such as smoothness and tracking, it excels at the little things such as having a simple to use menu, a switch for the 3 most common modes instead of having to navigate a menu, the ergonomics with the briefcase handle, a 13-hour built-in battery that has quick charging, even down to the build materials and the colors and the design. Every detail seems to be well thought out.
This is the only gimbal I've ever used where I can walk forward and actually watch where I'm stepping and not get into some cactuses. Meanwhile, the gimbal is tracking my subject behind me. I literally don't have to adjust it or move any knobs. I just have to hold it. And she is being centered up in the frame vertically. I'm walking forward and I don't have to worry about tripping over anything. There are only 3 things that I can think of that would improve this gimbal. The first is being able to adjust the deadband within the gimbal menu without going into the app on the phone. I wasn't able to find that, unfortunately, but I did adjust it with the phone app, which is easy enough to set up. The second thing is it would have been cool if you could break this gimbal down like you can some other higher end models into smaller bits and pieces so you can pack it away in a smaller footprint. Again, it's a cool idea, but I get it, and it's still a pretty compact gimbal nonetheless. And really, number 3, the only annoyance that I experienced while using this gimbal is that if you do talk with your hands, at times that little tracker on top will stop following you or start following you when you are not intending to start and stop. So you just have to watch your hand movements, because if you talk with your hands a lot, you might get a little crazy.
For the entry price of $379 US, or even the combo I got, which was $459 with some added accessories, I can't think of a better gimbal for the money. There isn't one, which is why this is going to be the one for me. For APS-C setups, it handles everything that you can throw at it. It's small, it's feature packed, and can even double as a phone gimbal if I need it to.
But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Stay tuned for more. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.